Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this review concerns She Who Must Be Obeyed. Yes, the book by H. Rider Haggard. Some say his best book ever, although some say no, it's King Solomon's Mines. Well, it's definitely one of those two, put it that way. And yes, the book, has nothing, the story is totally different to King Solomon's Mines, but the link is it's about explorers finding a lost civilization, yeah. And, okay, there will be some spoilers in this review. She is called Aisha. Oh no, apparently there's a pronunciation guide that says her name is pronounced Asha. Oh, okay. Well, no, all these years I thought it was Aisha because of the film. Yeah, well, Asha or Aisha, whatever you like. Oh, Asha, as in ashes, rising from the ashes, the fire, the flame. Yeah. Anyway, the idea of immortality had been done before in stories before, but this is a very intriguing story. She who must be obeyed, she who waits, she lives forever, yeah, has eternal life. What would you do if you had eternal life? Would you keep a very low profile or just tell a select few? Or would you tell a whole load of people, a whole country, and rule over them? Yeah, they're your subjects, you rule them, yeah. Well, that's what she does. She rules a whole country and they believe her to be divine and goddess-like, yeah. Why do people worship gods and goddesses? Well, because they're under the belief that they're immortal, they can never die. And in the same way, they think she's amazing, she's wonderful, yeah. And okay, my earliest memory of the movie's just called She as well. I was about 9 years old. My father told me about this film because he saw it when it was new. And yes, Ursula Andress plays She Who Must Be Obeyed, Aisha. And that she's absolutely stunning. Even at the age of 9, I could appreciate just how beautiful she was, yeah. She has light brown hair, but in the original book she has jet black hair. Well, it's a matter of opinion what the perfect hair colour is, yeah. Anyway, she rules over these people inside, like, caves. Yes, there's a whole country that seems to be inside winding tunnels and caves. That's like a whole... Or some of it's outside the mountains, yeah. The point is it's a place that hasn't been discovered by the outside world. And that she's ruled there for 2,000 years, yeah. There are other movie versions. In 1935, there was a movie version where it's a country that has live in mountains, but you have to go across the Arctic to get there. Oh, that's very different. In the 1965 movie version, you have to go across the deserts to get there, and in the original book, you have to go across a jungle in darkest Africa, then go through swamps, then go through rivers. You have to evade getting killed by savages and dangerous animals, or a deadly disease, In other words, a place that's very hard to get to. Lots of obstacles in the way, yeah. And it's cut off from the outside world, yeah. And, yes, it is an intriguing story, but it does raise a lot of interesting issues. Would you want to live forever? Willingly, yeah. Me personally, I wouldn't want to live forever if I was stuck in the same country for the rest of my life. I'd like to travel, explore, see a bit of the world, yeah. And it would be quite lonely because you'd never have any friends. Oh, you'd have sycophants and servants that tell you you're wonderful and amazing. Well, that's not proper friends, is it? No. You'd have no one to talk to on the same level as you. And according to the book, if you bathe in the eternal flame, you become immortal, but you can't have children. But then you don't need children, do you? Because you live forever. No, I don't think I'd like that idea. No, if I had to choose between being immortal and children, I think I'd prefer to have children, watch them grow up, and then have grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Because, when you have children, you value them more than your own life. They are the future, the way forward. Well, let me put it another way. If I was immortal, I certainly wouldn't want to give up my freedom. Oh, good God, no, that's terrible, no. Yes, and yes, I can see how She Who Must Be Obeyed, it's very influential in pop culture. Like, for instance, in the Narnia books, the White Witch, or more specifically, when she's in the book The Magician's Nephew, she's very vain. She can never age, she has eternal beauty, she's immortal, and she's very vain. I rule over that. And the White Witch, when she meets the two children from our world, she says, can I go to your world now so I can rule over it? Surely that would be okay. You'd be happy for me to rule everything. No, they don't want her to rule at all. That's very vain, very presumptuous. In the same way, there is actually a bit when she says she wouldn't mind ruling the whole world, surely everyone would be happy to rule under me, but it's like, that's very vain, very conceited, but then because of her immortality, that makes her very vain, yeah. And there was something, okay, major spoiler alert here. It does have a very sad ending, yes. She goes in the eternal flame. She falls in love with Callicrates, except that's not his name. His name is Leo, but he's a direct descendant of Callicrates. Is he the reincarnated spirit of her original lover, or is it just coincidence? He looks just like him. Well, that's open to interpretation. You can believe in reincarnation if you want. But in the book, this much is clear. It just says that he looks just like because he's a direct descendant of her original lover. Yeah, the great-great-great-great-grandson of her lover. Anyway, Live Forever With Me. She gets in she hasn't done it for 2,000 years, gets in the eternal flame a second time, and then she ages 2,000 years. Oh, it's absolutely horrific seeing this mighty, powerful queen disintegrated, grinds into dust. Yeah. And she feels aches and pains and can't see and hear properly. And then, she hasn't aged ever. So it's really horrifying for her. She's 2,025 years old. And they work it out to go in the eternal flame a second time will kill you. Yeah. Now I can see how this was inspiration for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah, there's the Holy Grail. You put it in a pool of water. If you use the correct grail, you have eternal life. If you use the wrong one, you die of old age. Oh, right. So, and in the same way, the eternal flame can give you life, but it can take it from you. Yeah. So it's like yin yang, positive and negative. Yeah. Power is a mixed blessing. It can give you amazing things, and it can take wonderful things away from you. Yeah. And Leo, because he's young and naive, he thinks she's amazing. She's wonderful. Yeah. And yes, in every different version of the story, I find the character of Aisha, because of her 2,000 years of experience, she's very wise and worldly, and there's lots of intelligent things to say. She's 2 steps ahead of everyone because of all her knowledge, her experience, yeah. However, when she gets jealous that a mortal woman, I think she's called Eustaine, and but she's called something else in the 1935 version, Tanya, I think. And anyway, the point is, she doesn't like her. It's like a love triangle. Yes, Leo must choose between a life with an immortal woman or a mortal woman, and he's confused as to what to do. And then he chooses Aisha, but Aisha's not satisfied with that and has the other woman killed anyway. Now, in the 1965 version, he doesn't know that she's killed her, but in the original book, he does know she's killed that other woman, and forgives her and loves her anyway. Oh dear me! Now, I'm sorry. If I fell in love with an amazing woman, I would not turn a blind eye if she robbed a bank. I certainly wouldn't turn a blind eye if she'd committed murder. No, that's horrific. That's horrible. But Leo does. Well, maybe that's kind of the point of the story. He's so mesmerised by she who must be obeyed. He's so mesmerised he compromises a lot of morals. Yes, he turns a blind eye to bad things she does. Yeah, well, that's a bit creepy. Yes, turning a blind eye to crimes against humanity because you're so smitten with someone. That's taking love a bit too far, yeah. We can't really see it here, but in the story she has the belt with 2 snakes on it. 2 snakes together, that represents eternity, yes, forever, yeah. And the character Holly Horace, he's like the narrator of the story. And at one point he does actually fall in love with Aisha. She turns him down, but says that's understandable. No man alive can resist me. Yeah, ironic, really, that he says, Leo, it's the impetuousness and the inexperience of youth that's made you fall in love with her. He's mesmerised only for a short time, but yes, no man could resist her. Yeah. Anyway, and the other thing about when she kills her subjects, if they do the slightest thing wrong, because she's behaving the same way people did 2,000 years ago. That's what a ruler was like, and she said, it's the only way you can rule your subjects, yeah, through terror and fear of death. And Leo says, no, that's not the only way to rule people. A lot has changed since your time, you know. Nowadays, in the modern world, the civilised world, the punishment has to be proportionate to the thing you've done wrong. No, so although before I said she's very wise, she's living in the past, literally living in the past, because this whole country has had no contact with the outside world. So by that logic, the younger man is actually wiser than her. That's ironic, yeah. And she who must be obeyed, she used to be a mortal woman. Callicrates betrayed her and had an affair with another woman, so she killed him. Then discovered the eternal flame. I think it's once every 2,000 years. It ignites out of the ground. In the movie version, it's a fireball that falls from outer space. But in this version, it comes out of the ground. You bathe in it and you become immortal, yeah. And when she says, I'm all-knowing and all-seeing, well, she didn't know that it's lethal if you go in it twice. No, she doesn't know it all, no. But, she rules a place and never has any contact with the outside world, just stuck there. And, oh, yes, she's been waiting 2,000 years for a man that looks just like Callicrates. For 2,000 years, she's had no boyfriend, no husband, nothing. Well, that's terrible. 2,000 years of being miserable and lonely. Yeah, that's very sad indeed, yeah. Well, because of her vanity, she wanted a man that could fit the bill, waiting a really long time, yeah. Okay, and then eventually gets him, finally a man worthy of her, and then the very sad ending when she dies at the end. So right, so waiting 2,000 years, utter devotion to Callicrates, and you end up dead. Oh, what an anticlimax. That's awful, yeah. But it shows that, yes, she didn't know everything after all. Yes, there were things about the eternal flame she didn't know. Oh, and also the eternal flame is sort of symbolic because your eternal love for someone. But would you want to be immortal? Literally live with a woman forever? Literally have undying love? Yeah. Well, for me, I wouldn't want to give up my freedom, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be stuck in the same area my whole life, yeah. And that time when for 2,000 years she has no love, no lover, what use is immortality if you're not happy? No, that's no good, is it? No. Would I want to be immortal? Well, if I was happy is the simple answer to that. Yeah, I need my freedom. And I wouldn't want the only people I interact with to be sycophants and servants. No, I'd like people that I could talk on the same level, people I could have a normal conversation with, yeah. And apparently, in addition to being immortal, she's indestructible as well. So she could rule the whole world, yeah. But she's too far gone. Because of her vanity, she just wants subjects to rule over, including Leo. Even if she makes him immortal, she still wants him to be smitten with her and worship her. Yeah, she can't behave like a normal person. She just only accepts other people as subjects, yeah. And another spoiler alert, in the book, it's quite different. Leo doesn't bathe in the eternal flame, just stands near it. So when he sees Aisha turn to dust, a bit of the flame gets him and makes him age. So he's 25, but he becomes about 50. So he gets away from the flame, yeah. In other words, they find out there's a price to pay trying to get immortal, and you're dealing with a power that you can't really control, yeah. So in other words, yes, I think if you're immortal, would you use it to do something really major and amazing? Well, I'd use immortality to work out how to find a cure for lots of diseases, you know. I mean, you're going to live forever. You've got enough time to do it. Yeah, to do something useful for mankind. She uses the immortality to, just to make everyone worship her. Oh, her own selfish means, yeah. So not the nicest person. Oh, she's impressive, she's powerful, very knowledgeable, yeah. But not the nicest person, yeah. I think Leo basically, yes, he should marry a woman that's, well, nice, basically, and that you can reason with and talk to like a normal person, yeah. So yes, it's the definitive story about being immortal. If it was possible to become immortal, well, use the power wisely and well, yeah. Don't use it for your own selfish means, yeah. Okay, that'll do for now. Thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.